So, hi all, my name is Arto Kangas and I work here at the SSAB Europe, mostly with the investments, including the management of our division, planning, prioritization, control, costs of course, and on the group level also with the development. I've been working for Rautaruukki and now SSAB more than 20 years and last 8 years with this management things and before that my background is from production and maintenance mostly. In this short presentation I will tell you something about our company SSAB and our way to the more sustainable world, as we say it. Then something about the history of our investment process, use of thinking portfolio and that, and also, of course, something about the use of the system. Okay, now let's start with the presentation. A couple of years ago, we produced about 9 million tons of steel. Revenue was 65 billion Swedish crowns, and we have about 14,000 persons working in the company, and more than 15 countries. We have main divisions described here. 5 of those special steels, concentrating on the quenched and tempered steel, wear parts and such. SSAB Europe, which is the biggest division, premium steels, for example, car industry and all the other branches where the steel is needed. SSAB Americas, 2 main sites in Americas producing plate and coils. Then we have our supplier company Tipnor, which is also processing our products further, like cut to lengths and slitted products and such. Then Ruukki Constructions, mainly in building industry, industrial halls, whatever needed. Here you can see our main production sites. Starting from the Nordics, the northernmost point is Luleå, Sweden, producing in blast furnace iron, steel, and finally slabs, which are transported by train to Borlänge, Sweden, where they are rolled. Then in Öxelösund, a special steels division, there's also a blast furnace and the steel production and heavy plate rolling with the further production and quenching and tempering units. Then in Finland, Raahe site. Raahe is the biggest in our company and it's the only integrated plant in SSAB. Starting from iron pellets, ending up to coils, slitted, cut lengths, and also plate. Also process it further, like assemble parts and such. And then Hämeenlinna, where we have a cold rolling mill and galvanizing lines and painting lines and such. And then 2 sites you can see here in Montpelier, Iowa, and then Alabama, and the town is Mobile. Yes, our aim and target is to be the first in fossil-free steel, and we are in a good way in this target. Use better steel, reduce your footprint. SSAB blast furnaces are already now one of the least polluting blast furnaces in the world, so very efficient units. Then use the steel better, so using our steel, meaning advanced high-strength steels, it reduces your weight in your constructions, like trucks here, and you can increase your payload. And then, of course, the new processes to produce steel without any CO2 emissions. And the basics for the latest here is changing the processes so that instead of coal and coke, we are using hydrogen to reduce the iron ore to the sponge iron, which is then melted in electric arc furnaces to steel. This is a simplified description of the new process, and we are planning already and already have a working unit in Luleå producing this sponge iron, and we are in a good way of this new way of doing things. And then about the investment management and thinking portfolio. SSAB Rautaruukki, we officially combined in autumn 2014, and of course this integration work started already earlier. And one part of that is, of course, especially when we are working in a very investment intensive industry, is the way of doing investments, planning, execution, and reporting. It's a big part of the whole work. It took us almost 1 year to finalize this common rules and guidelines for the whole company to use. So we created 2-level instructions. First, the basic rules, and then more practical level guidance for the project managers. And when we started the work, in both companies we had different systems in use, and not like specified ones for the investment and portfolio management. We used very complicated Excel tables, lots of links, SharePoint sites, whatever, and very diverse systems, even in different sites in same companies anyway. We did some trials with the old ones, like the Excels, but huge lists were created and very complicated Excel tables and very funnable things, and small mistakes here and there caused a chaos in the system, and nobody could find the reason where the mistakes were. So very quickly we discovered that the database solution is the only one to work in these kind of things. We did try some other systems and made some tests for those, and finally thinking portfolio was chosen after some tests and customization for our use. And we decided to go in this way because we saw that it's really easy to use and it's kind of a simple and only in this purpose that we need it. So it is not for the project execution or document management, and for those we have a different systems. We have all SSAB personnel, they have access to the systems, only being in our network, and you have access to thinking portfolio. We have one person who is not 100% of course, but is a main user in our side, and she can do different small things also in the system and change some things if needed, and then works as a contact person also to the supplier. All ongoing and planned projects are submitted to thinking portfolio, and at the moment we have more than 2,000 active projects ongoing or planned. And then, of course, in the idea portfolio, much more, and also in the close out and archived. So totally, there is maybe something like 5,000 roles in a system. Something about the process that we use in SSAB. The project process is very common, and most of you probably recognize the process because it's widely used. Of course, the naming for the phases can be different, but that's not change the process itself. So projects, they are registered in the system in the pre-study phase at the latest. In most cases, much earlier. And at the same time, we of course try to figure out the cost and the cost schedule for this particular project. All phases are reported when proceeding with the process. So when you have done pre-study and it's approved in G1, that is recorded in the system, and we can see where it's going in the process. And also the development phase, technical study, RFE study phase. Inside that phase, also the execution of that is recorded, and we can see how it is proceeding. Then, of course, normal planning and execution phases, and finally close out. Quite big work and very important work is the prioritization of different projects. We are using kind of a multi-level approach to this. So we are starting from the department level, going through all the investment needs, put them in the order, and then after all the departments have been gone through, we go to the site level and then put all the projects in right order, also in the site level, and then finally in the division do the same. So it's sort of a step-by-step approach for this item. And how to show it in the system in Thingy Portfolio is that we use this cost schedule. So first cost is the first project to execute. That's mainly the thing. Very simple, and that it easily can calculate the cost for different years and so. So that's the way that we are using the prioritization here. Then, of course, when we have a multiple rows of different projects, we can see the sum cost of different years of these prioritized projects. So it's easy to calculate if we have the frame full or not. And about the accuracy of these calculations and evaluations, we have like 2, maybe even 3 years for which projects we have calculated the cost quite accurately, so we know quite well that what the cost is going to be. And then more than 3, more than 4 years, up to 10 or even more years, it's more like a common level costs and not so well evaluated. What is very important for us when we use Thinking Portfolio is the reporting. And one of the main tasks for project manager is to do the reporting in the right way and in the right time. And project manager is at the latest nominated after the approval. But of course, in a bigger and more demanding project is normally project managers take part of these studies before the approval. And what we found out in this, let's say, developing phase was the difficulty of standardization of reporting. And that was because of the different background of different project managers, because of the different ways of doing things in different sites. And so it was a very, very, let's say, demanding task to teach the people that how to use and why we need to do the reporting right. On a monthly basis, we are reporting actual costs forecast for the future, and then the status. And let's say our motto here is that if you work as a project manager, you should be able to do the reporting in, let's say, in 15 minutes when you get to actual reports out from the main financial systems. So maximum half an hour. So that should be the right time to use for this. Then about the planned projects, we are presenting to the management our plans for the future, and try to also here use quite simplified way in the big picture to show the planned project in a Gantt chart. And here you can see some examples of this, and here you can see, of course, we have included a price or the evaluated cost for the project here, but it's not shown here. But anyway, it's easy to see what is coming and make some questions if needed, and then finally, when the investment proposal is in your table, make the decision because you already know what is coming and why. Yeah, some learnings then finally. In the end, as mentioned, reporting should be as simple as possible. Then it's really not a question of time. So it only would take some 15 minutes, like mentioned. Just check the numbers from the financial reports and make the forecasting for the future. And one thing that we have developed during the years of use of Thinking Portfolio was the automatic transformation, the costs, actual cost from SAP system to Thinking Portfolio. So project managers, they just have to check that the sum is right, and if needed, divide it in different accounts. But that's not like really must. You can do it, or you can just use the one row report here. And then we have also released online basic training for let's say beginner project managers. And we have 3 phases, which first one is the common, then the training for the managers, project managers, and then also training for the project owners. So this is the minimum requirement for new project managers, start with the minor projects. So that was shortly my presentation about our use of Thinking Portfolio. And if you have any questions or you want to discuss something about the system and our way of using this, please don't hesitate to ask and contact me. Here you can see my contact information. Thank you.